Sounds good.
And we're back. Long time no see. For those of you that were with us for the college show, you just saw you guys 6 minutes ago. We're back to do NBA. Got Matt Modi on the left, Prop Beaver on the right. Let me fix the screen a little bit here. We're going through. It's my first time trying these live polls on the screen, so I'm still getting things organized down here. The poll I ran before the show, Prop Beaver will have a winning day. 76% of you said yes. So a lot of you believe in Prop Beaver more so than I do.
I just voted yes as well, so you can add
there you go.
You can add one for me.
I hope it's a winning day. I got hope.
Honestly, yesterday should have been a winning day for you.
RJ Barrett, man.
I
can't shoot a 3-throw. He just can't shoot a 3-throw. It's sad.
And Prop Beaver he gave out 3 bets. He went 1 and 2. And for those of you that don't know how he lost the one bet, it was heartbreaking. Prop Beaver, he needed 1 rebound or 1 point from RJ Barrett. Mm-hmm. The guy went 0 for 3 from the line, and he finished the game with 2. 0 for 3 from the line, and he finished the game with 2 rebounds. He's gotten 3 or more rebounds in 91% of his games. So it was truly insane how he lost that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know, I braved through it last night. I'm ready to go.
He's ready to go. He's ready to go. Let's get the poll running for the first game here.
Only losers dwell on the past. We're good.
Exactly.
Precise.
That's not us.
Not us.
Just so you know, Prop Beaver, I swept the board yesterday. So if you're wondering how I did, I swept the board.
Love to hear that. I'm a company man first. You always knew that.
That makes me feel a lot better. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So the poll's running in the bottom quarter. That's new. So now for those of you watching on a smart TV, you could see the live voting, which is something I should have done a while ago. I don't know why I was taking so long on that. First game. I actually ended up having a bet on this, but I'll let one of these guys take the mic. Modi, why don't you kick off the show? By the way, yesterday you were getting a lot of you must be on a heater because there was a lot of comments. Where's Modi today? You must be hot right now.
Oh, the weekend was crazy. I think I went 7-1. I started officially tracking ladder plays, which people are asking me to do, because normally I just kind of throw it out as a dart throw. It's been a 3 straight profitable days. It's been good. Hopefully I don't ruin that. I'm going to start off with a heater, and I'm actually passing on this game. I don't have anything for Nets Magic.
All right, let's swing it over to Prop Beaver. Do you have anything for this one?
I'm passing it to you.
Are you kidding me? You're both cowards. You're both cowards.
This game's gross.
If I had to play something, I'll just play the Orlando -9. I'll put that out there.
Well, I'm on the other side. Give me Brooklyn. This is one of my smaller bets, so let's not jump out the window here with the Nets +9. But I actually think it's a somewhat favorable matchup for the Nets. First of all, as I said yesterday when I was talking about the Nets Grizzlies, said the Nets are probably undervalued right now because they've played one of the strongest schedules in basketball as of late. Sure, they've been getting crushed against the number, losing a lot of games, but in the last 10 games, entering last night, they were 3rd in the NBA in strength of schedule. So I knew on the horizon there was a time where I was going to start betting this Brooklyn team. Should have been last night, but I passed. I didn't lose on the Grizzlies. I just passed. This particular matchup, first of all, what does Orlando like to do? They like to attack the rim, right? So they're always first or second in shot frequency at the rim. The Nets have had a top 10 defense protecting the basket all season. I mean, the Claxton, they've been good down there. So what the Magic like to do offensively, the Nets do a really good job at defending. Also, if you subscribe to this channel, you know I like to bet teams that run the fast break against the Nets. That is not Orlando. In fact, they're bottom 5 in fast break frequency and efficiency. This Magic team doesn't push the tempo like that. So this is, again, another thing that points to Brooklyn here. And I think a lot of people, obviously, this line being at 9, definitely the back-to-back for Brooklyn is factoring into that. Doesn't really concern me too much. Brooklyn, they got a lot of hustlers on the team, you know what I mean? Where I don't think that a back-to-back would really concern. And also, Magic, I like betting this Magic team. There's not many times where the Magic are laying 9, 10 points. So this just seems way too big, and I did buy in on the Nets. I actually think I got 9.5, and I think I said that on YouTube last night. It was at 7.5 at the time, and I said I like Brooklyn, but I'm waiting. If I can get Nets +9.5, that exact thing happened. I waited and got Nets +9.5. One of my smaller bets, though. All right. Our poll is, all right, Magic win. 42%, 36% Orlando. Next. Dallas, Cleveland. Either you guys want to contribute to the show or?
No, I was just going to come on here and pass.
I'm just hanging.
Okay, no, I do have something here. This is one that I gave out on my own YouTube channel as well. I have Donovan Mitchell over 26.5 points. Last time I checked, it was best offered at plus 105. I meant to pull that up before I hopped on and I forgot. But I feel like this point total over under is way too low just because Garland's back. Like when Garland and Mobley were hurt, his point total over under was in the 30s. Now we're getting it at 26.5, and he's cashed this in 15 of 26 games, specifically games in which Garland has played. He's averaging 29.4 points per game with Garland. Without Garland, he's hit it in 10 of 19, which is still good, but it's not 15 of 26, and he's averaging 27.9 points per game. So I just don't understand why the point total is so much lower than it is normally than you get with Donovan Mitchell. I also laddered him to 30 plus and 35 plus as well. And it's also a good matchup. Like even with the Mavs, the new additions that they made on defense, they're like in the month of February, they're giving up the most made field goals specifically from pull-ups in the NBA. And Donovan Mitchell, he's top 5. He's like literally top 5 in the NBA in terms of points per game from pull-up. He's got pull-up game strong. So I think that Donovan Mitchell, it's just simply too low of a number. And yeah, 26.5 is the number I got it at. If you give me 1 second, I can give you what it's best offered at currently. But yeah, that's what we're going with.
You just said pull-up game strong.
Yep. Still plus 105, by the way. I was hoping someone caught on that. I did that, and I was hoping someone caught on. But yeah, it's still at plus 105. That's at ESPN Bet.
Okay. Prop Beaver, do you have a move here?
Yeah, I'm going with the Mavericks with the plus 4.5. The Cavs are just slumping right now, and the Mavs are rolling. Dallas has also done extremely well against Cleveland lately. They've covered 5 straight at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, and they've covered the last 6 and 9 matchups overall against them. There's definitely some bumps in the road in terms of the 4 factors for the Mavs, but the shooting matchup for here is great because Cleveland is suddenly not able to defend jump shooters. So I like the Mavericks here in the plus 4.5.
Yeah, and he took a lot of my notes there. So if you just let's just take the last 2 weeks, as in like the week before the All-Star break and since the All-Star break, Dallas should be laying 5 here. I mean, Cleveland looks terrible. They're 0-5 against the spread in their last 5, 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 at home, something like that. Dallas has covered 5 straight on the road in Cleveland, like Prop Beaver said. Dallas has been rolling. They were on a winning streak until they took the loss to the Pacers the other day. Yeah, plus 4.5. If we just look at recent production from these two teams, you got one team that's playing terribly, and they're laying 4.5 points to one of the hottest teams in the NBA. So, yeah, this is a must-play on Dallas. And then also, like Prop Beaver said, Cleveland specializes in protecting the interior, right? They have one of the best, Cleveland and Minnesota. They're probably the 2 best defenses as far as protecting the paint. Their defense against jump shooters has really fallen off. They're in the bottom half of the NBA in almost every single category out there. Dallas has no interest in going in the interior. They've been red hot. They've been shooting the lights out. So, yeah, I'm on Dallas plus 4.5. I also took the money line. Poole heavy on the Mavs here, 78-16%. A lot of people might have been influenced by a lot of people who watched my video last night. I was pretty decisively on Dallas last night. Next game. Golden State at Washington. All right, let's get a poll going here. First, let's clear the board. This line's at 10.5. Kind of tough one here because the Warriors really have been so good on the road, which really put me kind of in a blender because I combine that with the fact that Washington's really been so good at home. But yeah, I'll just put it up because I don't feel crazy about this one. I don't think this actually even made my final ticket. If it did, it was one of my smaller bets. I don't even think it made it, to be honest. So, but I would be on Washington here. I'm still considering betting it. And I'm gonna repeat the exact same thing I said in last night's video because I think it's very true and very important. If there's one thing we should have learned in the last week since the All-Star break, it's kind of just throw out all those trends that were paying us out in the first half of the season. I mean, remember the Nuggets were an auto fade on the road, and they come out and like beat the shit out of a couple teams on the road. The Wizards auto bet on the road. They were automatic on the road. They get blown out by the Nuggets. The Pistons take the points no matter what. They were 13-2 or something against the spread in the last 15. Now the Pistons can't cover a number. Well, they just did. against the Knicks. But these trends that we're paying in the first half of the season, it seems like we could just throw them all out. What are 2 trends that were paying us from the first half of the season? Bet Golden State on the road, fade Washington at home. So this is kind of a chance to get an inflated number and fade 2 trends that I think a lot of people might be betting Golden State because of those trends. And I'm not saying everyone. I mean, Golden State's been good on the road, but I think the number might be inflated. The market might be inflated towards Golden State as a result of those trends that were true in December and January. And I think it'd be a good time to jump in on the other side, take 10.5 points against a Golden State team that overall hasn't been that great. I mean, they've definitely been playing their best basketball of the year. But, I mean, this team isn't a 1 or 2 seed in the West. This team isn't the Celtics. And that's what this is the Celtics line here, laying over 10 points on the road. That's a Boston Celtics price. So, yeah, I think, in fact, I'm kind of talking myself into Washington. I didn't actually bet it yet, but and then if I do, it'll be one of my small – ooh, let me get the poll up. If I do, it'll be one of my smaller bets. But, yeah, definitely Washington or pass for me. Either you guys?
Prop Beaver.
So I'm going with Jordan Poole over 17.
Revenge game.
Dude, I love my boy Jordan Poole. I don't know why. I was a Michigan man. I liked Michigan back in the day in high school. And I've always been riding with Jordan Poole, and he sucked this year. There's no doubt about it. But ever since they moved him to the bench, we're starting to see him really just say, fuck it. I'm just going to shoot the ball all the time, and I'm going to live up to the usage monster hype that we had for him coming into this season because his last 3 games off the bench, he's shooting the ball 19 times a game. He has a 29% plus usage rate, and he's averaging 23.3 points per game despite shooting just 38.5% from the field, which is gross. So imagine if he shoots a respectable percent from the field, right? Now, the last time he faced the Warriors, he had 25 points on 21 field goal attempts. Again, disgusting shooting. But if he shoots better, then hey, we're in the business here. But it doesn't really matter here because I'm going for volume. With 15 plus field goal attempts this season, he's hit 18 plus points in 20 of 25 games. With 18 plus field goal attempts, he's hit 18 plus points in 14 of 15 chances. The Warriors defense over the last 5 games starting to creep back into what it was before they had that resurgence. And we've recently seen high usage guards like Murray, D'Lo, Sexton, Keontae George, PG-13. All these guys are smashing their lines and smashing this line as well. I just feel like at some point, Poole has to live up to the potential he had in his penultimate season with the Warriors. So I don't know. I think the Wizards match up with the Warriors well, and they can keep it close. I'm trying to give a point. What are you trying to make me laugh?
No, the comments. Dougie Ray goes, Prop Beaver did not just vouch for JP. I'm fading Beaver forever for that one.
Listen. I'm riding or dying with my guy.
Oh,
He's
man.
actually for the fellas.
No, I mean, like, you made good points, and I see it, but then, like, you take a step back, and you're like, damn, am I taking Jordan Poole here?
Am I going to put my money on Jordan freaking Poole?
Yeah, but take yourself in the time machine. Go back 2 years ago. If you got this line with Jordan Poole and you know he was going to get that volume, you'd be creaming jeans. So I just think that we got to bet what we can.
So if you have access to a time machine...
If you have access to a time machine, place this bet immediately.
All right. Mr. Modi, do you agree with Prop Beaver's look here?
Oh, man, we got cream and jeans. We got pull-up game strong. This is a hell of a stream we got going on today. So I do not have a Jordan Poole, and I have the other half of that fight. I have a Draymond Green over 22.5 points, rebounds, assists. This is a lean. I don't actually have any money on it myself, to be honest with everybody. I wasn't exactly sure what to do with this game because Chris Paul's back, but he's going to have limited minutes, so I didn't know how much that was going to affect anything. The reality is, if you're just kind of like a do-it-all guy like Draymond who gets a decent amount of, not a lot of points in terms of like the average NBA player, but for a 22.5 points, rebounds, assists, he could get 10 points. And then like for rebounds and assists, dudes like that, they just rack up so many stats against the Wizards. The Wizards are a beautiful combination of horrific defense plus really fast pace. They literally on the entire year are giving up the most points, the most rebounds, and the most assists per game in the NBA. They give up the most of all three. And it's just because of their pace and how bad their defense is. So normally points is what I would worry about the most for Draymond because he's like one of the least skilled offensive players in terms of putting the ball in the basket in the NBA. But in terms of like his scoring profile, actually trends pretty well against the Wizards specifically. They're like the Wizards are allowing this is per Courtside Pal, the 4th most points per game to his shooting profile and the 7th most to his scoring profile. So I kind of just see this being a game where it's like like 12 type game for Draymond. So the 22.5 PRA is so low, obviously for good reason, but I still think that that over is a good play. And you can get it right now, best offered at -122. So it hasn't changed too much since I sent those odds in.
Someone said that they that Steph Curry averages 36 a game against the Wizards. And, I mean, you could use the angle that Steph's coming off. Was he 1 for 10 from 3 the other night?
It was something gross.
But Washington, I'm assuming the reason these guys, I can't speak for them, I'm assuming the reason these guys don't have Steph overs on is because Washington's actually been a top 10 3-point defense. So I could see the angle for a Steph Curry bounce back, and this guy, if he's right in the comments, is saying he has great career numbers against Washington. I don't have any reason to believe he's lying, but it's tough. The Wizards do play good defense against a 3-point shot. So, all right, poll results are as followed. Let's see what they're finished up at. Wizards win 30. It's pretty much split. 38%, 37% Wizards. So Wizards plus 10.5 has a shot at the community parlay. All right. Let's get the poll going on the next one. Let's clear the board here. And the next one is Utah at Atlanta. Jazz plus 1.5. Hawks minus 1.5. Pop Beaver said, I can tell Prop Beaver doesn't like my pick in this one because last night he was here working and he was actually editing the NBA video and he took his headphones off to say it and said, Utah, really? So I know he does not like my pick in this one. Do you have a prop you like here?
Yeah, I'm going with me and Matt have the same prop. I know he has another one as well, so I'll talk about Murray. I got DeJounte Murray over 8.5 assists and 10+ assists. 8.5 assists looks like it's at like -150 right now. So I'm just going to talk as if it's at 10+ assists. I'd probably put a half unit on that. It's about +115, as you can see right there. He's just had some ridiculous potentials without Trae Young. I mean, he's averaging, 17.1 potential assists and 12.1 adjusted assists in those 6 games. He's hit 10+ in 6 games, averaging 9. And he's converting just 52% of those potential assists. The league average is about 55 to 60%. So he's getting a bit unlucky too. I mean, he had a game against the Kings where he had 20 potential assists and converted just 7 of them. And this is a dream matchup for that regression to catch up for him because the Jazz defense is 30th in defensive rating and 30th in assists per game allowed over the last 10 games. We've recently seen guys like Trey Jones with 9, Curry with 10 and 10, Grayson Allen with 14, and D'Lo with 17 in just Utah's last 6 games. I just think in a game with 2 teams in the top 8 apace and a total at 237.5. I'm going to bank on him to do damage here. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Yeah.
If you were on the fence here, that Go Hawks should have pushed you over to the Utah side. Modai, you said you have Murray and something else?
Yeah, so I do have Murray. The other one I'll talk about is Bogdanovich 4+ made 3-pointers.
I thought it was Bogdan. Is it Bogdan?
I thought it was.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was.
I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
I know. I could also be wrong.
Go ahead. But 4+ threes.
Yeah, 4+ made threes. The last time I checked was best offered at +155. So this is a play just because of the point guard assist is a play against the Jazz. So is guys that shoot a ton of above the break threes. If you look at basically any sample size this season, the entire year, since January 1st, since February 1st, the Jazz consistently are allowing the most made above the break 3-pointers in the entire NBA. And without Trae Young, Bogdan steps in and takes the most for the Hawks. Like outside of Trae, if you look at the entire year, he's averaging about 6.4 above the break 3-pointers per game. And that's 2 above the next closest guy on the Hawks. And similar style defense to the Jazz in terms of how many they give up is the Bulls. And he just hit 6 3-pointers against the Bulls just a couple weeks ago. He also just in general on average shoots more when Trae's out. Like he's averaging 8.5 3-point attempts per game in the 6 games that Trae's missed. He has 2 separate games with 11 3-point attempts, another one with 9. And if you just look at his volume and shots made, 3-pointers made in the 6 games, like he's only made 4 once, which is the number we're taking, but he's made he's made 3 in 4 of those 6 games. We just need one more in a juicy opportunity that I should get. So yeah, that's why I went with this one. I have the DeJounte Murray assist and then the Bogdan, whatever it is, 3-pointers.
I am fading prop beavers. Go Hawks. I am on the Jazz. I think they win this outright. Obviously, if I'm betting them at +1.5, I think they win it outright. So as far as how these teams match up on paper in like the last 10 games, you can find angles either side. Jazz should be able to get out in transition. That's given the Hawks problems all year. Jazz should be able to score points on the interior. But on the other side, the Hawks should be able to score points right back on the Jazz. In reality, I don't usually bet based on injuries, but I think these Hawks injuries are going to catch up to them here, specifically in this matchup against the Jazz. As I'm sure Modi just mentioned with his bet, Utah's got a terrible perimeter defense. They are just so bad defending the 3-point shot. Well, Trae Young's out, so that's a huge chunk of the Hawks' 3-point shooting. Now, I'm sure Bogdanovich, I'm sure DeJounte Murray's going to hit some, so I'm not saying this 3-point shooting won't be there, but Trae Young's out. Also, I don't think people realize how important Okongwu is as well. Capella is back. He missed some games, and Capella's back, but Capella's only playing like 26 minutes a night. It's a little more than half the game. So we're talking about a whole another 22 minutes in this game where the Hawks essentially don't have a 5. Utah, we can poke holes in this team all day. But one thing we can't poke holes in, they're a very good rebounding team. And we can just pretty much pencil in 22 minutes of this game where Utah should dominate the glass on both sides. Plenty of second chance opportunities on offense and limited second chance opportunities for the Hawks on defense. So, and honestly, I think they dominate the glass even when Capella's in as well. But those minutes when Capella's not on the floor, the Hawks should be really shorthanded down there. And I'll take Utah because I think without Trae Young and without Okongwu, roster, top to bottom roster, the Utah Jazz are significantly better. The significantly better team here, and another line where I think trends from before the break are influencing it a bit. I think the Jazz should be laying 1.5 too here, but the whole fade Utah on the road thing is maybe influencing the line a little bit. So yeah, I'm on the Jazz. It's one of my smaller bets, but I did bet it. Final results of the poll looks like the Hawks win.
Go Hawks.
44%. Another game that's split down the middle. 44%, 42%. Next game. All right, we get to listen to Modi talk about the Sixers. Favorite part of the segment. A proud Philadelphia fan. He's from Philly, or he's from the Philly area, I believe. I don't think he's actually from Philly, but
yeah.
He's a diehard Sixers fan. He's really proud of the franchise right now.
I mean, listen, anytime you can get bounced in the second round for a decade straight, you have to take that.
How do you not get pumped about that?
Yeah, I mean, seriously. That's why you see me wearing Eagles and Phillies hats, not Sixers hats.
Would you take the 12? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have a prop here?
I do have a prop. I would take the Celtics -12. For whatever reason, it seems like the Sixers will randomly get up underhanded for games like this. Like they had a game earlier this year when Embiid was healthy, when they kept it close. But I mean, I would lean towards the Celtics. But anyways, that's not my official play. My play is Derek White over 2.5 made 3-pointers. I locked it in for plus, I think 104. Right now it's best offered at, looks like you can get it actually at plus 100 now is the best price. So it changed a little bit since I sent in the odds. I don't know what vendetta he has against the Sixers, but he just tears the soul out of the Sixers every time they play. He plays so well.
I got to order a jersey.
Yeah, honestly, I'm convinced that he's the best player in the NBA whenever he plays the Sixers. He's hit it in all 3 games this year. He shot 3 of 11, which the efficiency isn't great, but I'll take 11 3-point attempts. And in the other 2 games, 4 of 8 and 3 of 4. That's a little more normal. He just has a really good matchup. Like the Sixers defense has fallen off a cliff since January 15th. So basically like the past month of actual games, taking out the All-Star break, the week there, they're allowing the 5th most made catch and shoot 3-pointers in the NBA. And they're allowing the 6th highest catch and shoot 3-point attempt percentage as well. And White, he takes the 2nd most catch and shoot 3-pointers on the Celtics. Only Sam Hauser takes more. And he has the 2nd most made and attempts. And then the Sixers are also allowing a ton of corner threes. He takes the 2nd most corner three, or actually, sorry, tied for Horford with the most corner threes on the Celtics. So yeah, Derek White, he's the MVP whenever he plays the Sixers.
Derek Wright over 2.5 3-pointers made. Prop beaver, anything here?
No.
This strikes me as a
really
prop
like
beaver
this game.
pass game.
Yeah, I think Boston could go ballistic here, but I don't really think there's much value in laying the 12.5. I feel like Philly, what they have been doing at least lately is covering on the road, and now they're back on the road. And Boston, we've seen sometimes with these big numbers, they kind of stoop to their opponent's level. So, like, I don't really see much value. I was thinking a team total over, but what's that got to be like 128.5 or something?
And also, with the team total over, you have to consider that in the last 5 games, these are 2 teams at the bottom in pace. 26th and 29th. These teams, I want it to be on the over. That's where I thought it was. I thought the Sixers could score some points. I'll put up Celtics for me, but there's no chance I'm betting this. The game that rings in my head is when Embiid was out in the playoffs. Was that last year or 2 years ago? And the Sixers beat him outright. Granted, the Philly had James Harden in that game, who went nuts. James Harden obviously no longer on the team. But yeah, I'm just scared off of here. Boston's also just 2-7 against the number in their last 9 at home. So the Celtics haven't been covering these big numbers at home. So Boston is where I'd go if you put a gun to my head and force me to bet it, but I will not be betting this one. 61%, 22%. Celtics win that poll pretty handedly. Next. All right. Pelly's Knicks. Let's get the poll running. This line's up to 4.5 now. Got some nice closing line value in this one. Knicks plus 4.5. Over 217.5. Under 217.5. All right, cast your votes. Either you guys want to take the lead on this one. Prop, either you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I bet Jalen Brunson under 30.5 points. I got that at -115. He did get announced questionable probably like 5 minutes before I had finished writing the write-up. I don't care. If he doesn't play, he doesn't play, avoids the bet. If he does play, he's playing through discomfort, so that's good for us. He's getting great volume with Randall out right now. There's no denying that, but it's a back-to-back, and it's a brutal spot, so I think it's a fade spot. Brunson shoots 52% of his shots from mid-range, 95th percentile amongst point guards, and that's a major strength for this Pelicans defense. If we just look at their last 5 games, 2nd and 6th in long mid-range frequency and efficiency, 8th and 10th in paint frequency and efficiency. And the Pels defense has also been very stout against point guards. Last 30 days, they've allowed the 4th fewest points per game to the position, and according to Courtside Pal, the Pels have also allowed the 6th fewest points per game to his shooting profile on the season. He faced the Pelicans twice last year, and Herb Jones had him in hell. He was shooting just 33.3% from the floor in those games. The weakness of the Pels defense lately has been the above-the-break three-pointer, and I see this as more of a game where DiVincenzo, Bogdanovich, Burks, those guys get going and alleviate some pressure off of his shoulders. So, yeah, that's what I went with here.
Someone's saying, let's see if there's an update on the injury report here. No, he's still questionable. Hardenstein's now questionable too. Wow. So, yeah, you guys know I'm on the Pellies here. I think it's a nice buy low spot on New Orleans. I got it at 2.5 too for a full unit. So I'm sitting pretty comfortably here with 2 points of closing line value. Now, we all know that doesn't mean shit. I could very well lose the bet, but pretty comfortable in my position. I would still bet it at 4.5. Knicks, their interior defense has just fallen off. I mean, in the beginning of the year, they were doing a great job protecting the basket. Now they're bottom 7 or 8 probably in protecting the rim. So if Zion plays, which he was questionable, but from what I was reading, he's still questionable. I think he's going to play, and as long as he plays, the Pelicans should win this one comfortably. The Knicks, someone said the Knicks are on a rampage. Dude, they're 0-7 in their last 7 at home. They have not covered the number in a while, so. Yeah, I'm really comfortable with my Pelicans -2.5. Hopefully, if you're in the Discord, you got it at 2.5 when I posted it. But yeah, I'm on the Pellies here. Modai?
Yeah, so both these guys are listed as questionable, but I have Zion over 5.5 assists, but only if CJ McCollum sits. That's the only so I don't have any money on it now. I'm waiting until the injury news. I'm only playing it if CJ doesn't play, and then if Zion gets ruled out, then you'll just get it refunded either way. So. But like I kind of like the fact that the Pelicans are making point Zion a thing. Like he's been really good recently as kind of the quote unquote point Zion point guard. He's cashed this over in 4 straight games. Last game he had 11 against the Bulls, but CJ didn't play in that game. And that's the main thing we need is no CJ. Like Ingram technically has the highest usage rate when CJ is off the floor, but Zion's second, and he has the highest assist rate by far when CJ sits. And it's just gotten better recently. Like if you just look at the year 2024, so January 1st and on, Zion averages about 2.5 more assists per 36 minutes when CJ is not on the floor. And if you look at the entire year, don't just isolate it from January 1st on, it's less than 1 assist. So it's been getting a lot better recently. So I figured like CJ's out, he's going to continue to run the point even more. The Knicks defense is kind of hit or miss. Like they were really good when they first got OG for that month, and then they were really bad over the past couple weeks. And I mean, they haven't been covering the spread, but their defense, to my knowledge, isn't as bad as it was pre-All-Star break. So it's not the best matchup in the world. But again, yeah, if Zion plays and CJ doesn't, I think this is a smash play.
Got it. Poll is heavy on the Pelicans here. 62%, 26% New Orleans.
One thing I would add, if Isaiah Hartenstein doesn't go and CJ McCollum doesn't go, I may look at a Zion Williamson over. Because if you look at the Knicks' weakness defensively lately, it'd be protecting the rim. But then when you saw Hartenstein in that game against the Pistons last night, he was doing fantastic. And then the numbers changed when you looked at the results today. So I think it's really when Hartenstein's out, they're getting killed at the rim. When he's in, obviously, he's a great defender. They're doing well at the rim. So if he's out, I'll definitely be looking at a Zion over in points.
Got it. Next game, Spurs at T-Wolves. All right, let's get the poll running. Let's clear the board first. All right, we got Spurs plus 13.5. This line hasn't moved at all. It was 13.5 when I was recording last night. Over 224.5. It just might not be taking much action. I mean, this is tough. A challenging line with 13.5. But I'll go first because the only way I would go here is Minnesota. I mean, I couldn't find one positive angle. I already talked about it on YouTube if you watch the video. I couldn't find a single positive angle for the Spurs here. This is just a nightmare matchup. Everything the Spurs do, Minnesota's elite at defending, and what the Spurs are weak at, Minnesota's top 10 is. So it's this is on paper, this is a terrible matchup for the Spurs. And I think as long as Gobert plays, I actually might bet this, but as of right now, it's Minnesota or pass. Let's see if there's an update on Gobert.
I think he's still questionable.
Still questionable. So, yeah, Minnesota or pass for me. I honestly think Minnesota covers the number with or without Gobert, though. So, yeah, I didn't bet this one, but I'd only go Minnesota here. Modi?
Yeah, so I have Victor Wembanyama over 1.5 made 3-pointers. I got it at minus.
You hit this bet a couple weeks ago on the show.
Yeah. It's the centers against the Timberwolves. And a center who can shoot. Obviously, I'm not betting it with like Sabonis or something. But yeah, centers who can shoot, they'll let them, and they will let them. Like the T-Wolves defense is elite. Rudy Gobert is like the best paint rim protector that we've, ever seen. But he'll let guys shoot on the perimeter, especially guys like Wemby, who's not. He will take them, but he's not super efficient, and he's not going to put a high volume on them either. So they'll kind of just take their medicine with that. Like last week, I think that was Friday when the T-Wolves played the Bucks, Brook Lopez made 4 3-pointers against them. So this is something that I put a full unit on the over 1.5, and I did put a half unit on the 3+ as well. That I got it at plus 280. I put a half unit on that one. Over the past month, the T-Wolves are allowing the 5th most made 3-pointers to centers in the NBA, and they've allowed 5 straight centers to cash their 3-point total over under against them. And Wemby's been awesome recently. Like he's made 2 or more in 7 of his last 10 games. He's done it in 2 of 3 against the Timberwolves this year. And both games he went over, he actually hit 3. So it's almost a system play, like center 3-pointers, as long as they can shoot against the Timberwolves. Because like even though they give up, 110 points per game, that's still 110 points that need to be scored. And one way they give it up is centers from deep if they can shoot. So that's where I went here.
And Towns is out, by the way, as illustrated to us 11 times in the comments. Prop Beaver.
I actually did not know Towns is out. When did that happen?
Me neither. That's how the little amount of interest I had in this game. I handicapped it last night for the video. Yeah. Didn't have any interest in it. But I'd still go Minnesota. I swear to God. I was looking at a Towns assist over. So now that that's out of the picture, I don't really have anything for this game. I may take another look at it just to see who, you filter it and see what guys do better without him and with him. So
I may look at that, but besides that, I got nothing for this one.
Someone just come in the chat talking about the San Francisco 49ers.
It's because it's a prop beaver's hat.
Oh, right. I was gonna say, whoa.
I have the hats of a bunch of teams. I'm not a loyalist.
You also have a hat that says drunk slut.
I do.
So the poll is 48%, 33% in favor of the Spurs. So the committee likes the Spurs there. Next. Pistons Bulls, another game I don't give a shit about. This one is about. I honestly don't know. I guess if I had to pick a side here, I guess I would take Pistons plus. I guess Pistons plus 11. I mean, I know Ronald, the guy from Wager Talk that was on the show yesterday. He likes the Pistons, so I think he's on the Pistons. But I'm not going to lay 11 points with the Bulls, especially at home. They've been better on the road. So let me get the poll up here. So I'm definitely not on the Bulls. I'm not going to bet the Pistons either, though. I'm not dying to take a Pistons team that just lost in heartbreak fashion at the end of the game in New York City last night, flew all the way to Chicago to play a division rival, and their record in Chicago, they're 2-11-1 against the number in their last 14 trips to Chicago. So they're terrible here. The Bulls own the Pistons. So I would go Pistons or pass, but this is a straight pass for me.
Yeah, it happened like close to when we hopped on, but they downgraded Cade from no injury designation to probable. So I don't really know what that means. Like, how do you downgrade someone to probably still playing?
Yeah,
doesn't
right.
make sense to me. Just make him questionable or don't do anything. But anyways, I have DeMar DeRozan 25 plus points. You can still get that at plus 105. I feel like DeMar he was really good when he was first on the Bulls, and then nobody's cared about him for like the past calendar year, basically. But he's actually been playing pretty well recently. He's gotten to 25 or more in 5 of his last 10 games, but he had exactly 24 in 3 of the games he missed. So he's been hovering right around the number. Hopefully he doesn't hook us with 24 again. But the matchup against the Pistons is just so juicy. Like, they're giving up literally, according to Courtside Pal, the most points per game to both his shooting and his scoring profile, the 3rd most points per game to his rebounding style, and then also the most points per game to his playmaking style as well. So like how he shoots, where he scores from, how he play makes, they're giving up the most points per game. Last time he played the Pistons, he put up 29. All we needed in this case is for him to get to 25. Even though the matchup is really good, like he's not really ladder potential in my opinion, because he just doesn't have the ceiling, but he does have a pretty decent floor. So DeMar, I don't know. I feel like this is the most boring game that the NBA could potentially have, Bulls versus Pistons, but I do like DeMar.
It should be a division rivalry, but it's just this one.
It's gross, yeah.
Prop Ever?
Yeah, I went with Jalen Duren under 13.5 points. Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart, set to return tonight for Detroit, my favorite play in the world. And with the trade paces that they got in the Bogdanovich trade settling in, there's a lot of bodies now getting minutes, and I don't think there's not enough ball to go around. The Bulls D is very committed to funneling looks outside, and that doesn't really bode well for Duren, who lives in the interior. Last 30 days, the Bulls have allowed the 2nd fewest points per game and 5th lowest field goal percentage to the center position. According to Courtside Pal, they've allowed the 9th fewest points per game to his shooting profile, 6th fewest to his scoring profile. And Duren has been a profitable fade on the road when Cade's on the court, going under his last 12 of 17 with him, averaging 12.9 points per game. On top of that, if we look at when Cade and Stewart are both on the court with Duren, they've gone under the last 11 to 13 Pistons losses. The Bulls, if you don't know, have won their last 16 to 17 games against Detroit, with the spread in this game up at 11. So I just think that this is nice value at the minus 104 to take a guy who probably doesn't get the minutes to hit this one.
All right. Prop Beaver likes Jalen Duren. Usually a Prop Beaver darling. He likes betting Duren. Takes us under in this one. Poll is 64%, 25% in favor of the Pistons. So community heavy on the Pistons plus 11. Next game. Charlotte at Milwaukee. Oh, forgot to grab the poll. Charlotte at Milwaukee. Line's 14.5. I mean, I didn't bet it yet, but how do you not take the Hornets? I don't know. Let's see what these guys think.
Hornets plus 14 or whatever.
That's what you're taking?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's what I'm on too.
I know that the Bucks just beat the piss out of Charlotte the last time they played, but Hornets still 4-2 against the spread their last 6 trips to Milwaukee. They've always played them some pretty competitively, and the defense for them has been excellent lately. Their main defensive weakness has been on the interior, but the Bucks continue to rely on jump shooting. I mean, even Brook Lopez, center, not a guy who shoots at the rim much. So I don't really know if I can lay 15 points to a team that's making stops like Charlotte has lately. I know the Bucks are at home. I know they look pretty good lately, but even the game total here is at 220.5. If it's going to be a low scoring affair, how do you not take the points?
Yeah, and not to mention the Bucks haven't been attacking the interior at all. This is a Bucks offense that's been extremely reliant on jump shooting. Now they've been pretty good about it. They've been pretty efficient with their shots, but that's the strength of the Hornets defense. How you beat this Hornets team, how you give the Hornets defense problems is get to the rack, get to the interior. Bucks haven't been doing that at all. In fact, I bet you if you combine short, mid-range, and rim, those two shot zones, if you combine them, I bet the Bucks would be 30th in frequency. I mean, they just do not go to they don't attack the basket at all. So yeah, how do you not take a shot with the Hornets here now? Kind of reminds me of, you know what it feels like a little bit, and I guess there are a few comparisons here, but it feels like the Charlotte Golden State game where the line was like 12 or 11.5, and it was the same thing. Like, how do you not bet the Hornets? Well, the Warriors covered, and it was one of the Hornets' only losses against the number recently. Kind of feels a little bit like that now, and clearly this line's sitting at 14.5, 15, 14. Clearly, odds makers definitely feel comfortable on their position with the Bucks as heavy favorites here. That's why I didn't bet it yet. That's why I'm not jumping at the chance to bet the Hornets. But yeah, Charlotte's the only way I'd go here. So I think I am going to bet this. Maybe put a few dollars on it for fun. It didn't make my final ticket, but Hornets would be the only way I'd go. Modi?
Yeah, it feels like a rat line. Like it should not be 14 points. Yeah. I have Dame over 7.5 assists. I only put a half unit on it. I really wanted to get the 6.5, but the number, like, it's minus 140, which is just too steep in my opinion. So I just put it up by 1. But again, only a half unit play. Dame has actually, his assists have done pretty well under Doc. Even though his scoring has taken a hit and his shooting has taken a hit, he's done a pretty good job from a playmaking department. Like, he averages the most assists on the team in general, and that number only increases when Chris Middleton's off the floor, who obviously who's still going to be out tonight. Of their main rotation guys, Dame has the second highest usage rate increase when Middleton is off the floor. So not the second highest on the team, but the second highest actual increase. And while he's only cashed this in the over 7.5 in 4 of 10 games since Doc took over, 2 of those games he had exactly 7. So he would have cashed the 6.5, and it was one made jumper away from getting the over 7.5. And he's pretty efficient with his assists as well. He's averaging over about 12 potential assists per game since Doc took over, but that's just going up. Like, if you look at the last 4, which again, it's small sample size, but I mean, Doc's only coached 10 games, so everything's going to be a small sample size. He's averaging over 13 potential assists in the last 4, 13.3 to be exact. And the Hornets defense on the year is giving up the 4th most assists per game to point guards in the NBA. Last time in limited minutes because of the blowout, Dame had 8 against them, and he had 15 potential assists. So it's actually, that should be over 7.5, not 7+, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So, just so people know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The graphics guy sucks.
Yeah, whoever made those graphics is just an absolute piece of shit. Our poll is on the Hornets, 65%, 24%. Hornets definitely win the poll. So Hornets plus 14.5 will have a chance to be in the community parlay. 2 games remaining. Houston at Oklahoma City. Oh, forgot to grab the poll. Houston at Oklahoma City at 10.5. This is a really tough one. I went through this one in the video last night. I do see angles for the Rockets defense, and if you're betting Houston and you're saying screw these over/under splits, screw these, fade the Rockets on the road. It's after the All-Star break, and take it Houston. I see your angle. But the thing is, it's just the Thunder are so good at home, and the Rockets are so bad on the road. It's kind of hard to just unsee that. Well, what do you guys got before you? I'll just put it up because I think I would lean Thunder, but I really want to bet the Rockets. I want to bet the Rockets bad, but I just can't do it. So I'll lean Thunder, but I can't get there with either side here.
I'd go Thunder too. This is one where you got to turn the sharp brain off, and you just got to look at the trends, baby. Look at the trends, because this Rockets team, they simply suck on the road. Thunder, they're covering the number right now. They're much better at home. The Rockets' last 12 trips to OKC, they're 2-10 against the spread. I mean, I just don't see much changing from the last matchup. I mean, the Thunder just are the significantly better team here in a significantly better spot. So,
yeah. So 2 on OKC. Modi?
Not going to make it through on OKC. I have Alperen Şengün over 9.5 rebounds. So right now it's at -132. That's probably about the steepest I would go. I wouldn't take it much higher than that, but I would still take it at the -132 number. That's at FanDuel. I think this is a smash play. Like, I absolutely love this one. As good as the Thunder are, and they've been this way all year, they're one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. It's just because of how slight they are. Like, Chet's awesome. He's just skinny. He can't he can get pushed around. Like, on the entire season, they're the third worst defensive rebounding percentage in the NBA. And that's only gotten worse. Since January 1st, they're literally the second worst team. So they've gone from third worst to second worst. And unsurprisingly, they can't keep centers off the glass either. They're giving up the third most rebounds per game, specifically to centers on the entire year. Over the past month, it's just gotten worse. The most rebounds per game to centers over the past month. Even in the game where the Thunder beat the crap out of the Rockets 2 days ago, Şengün had 12 rebounds and had 21 rebound chances. I can see the same thing happening today. The Rockets lose by 20, Şengün gets 12 rebounds in limited playing time, just because it's so easy to get rebounds against the Thunder.
And if you are betting the Rockets, that's where you're looking at. They should have the rebounding advantage significantly on both sides of the court. I mean, they're going to have plenty of second chance opportunities, and they do protect the rim well, or at least they have for most of the year, and force Oklahoma City to settle for jump shots, but that's Oklahoma City's been doing anyway, and they guard the fast break well. So there are angles here for the Rockets defense, but the Rockets offense on the road, dude, they just can't score points. It's hard. I'm not betting this one because I really want to bet the Rockets, but I just don't see it. So 70%, 19%, our poll definitely favoring the Thunder. Last game coming here. Let's clear the board. We got Miami at Portland. I don't really know how to find an angle on this one. Maybe these guys have something. Heat just played last night. I'll put Heat -7 up for me because that's the only way to go. And I go here, and this is a super late start, so maybe I end up placing a late bet on the Heat at -7. But let me get the poll going real quick. There we go. All right, so yeah, I'll put Heat -7. I can't bet Portland missing those guards with no Brogdon, especially Brogdon. He's like the veteran presence to really solidify the backcourt with all those young guys. But you got Brogdon, Sharp out, Scoot Henderson out. Man, the graphics are skipping. Sorry about that. But yeah, I can't bet Portland in this state, so it'd be Miami or pass for me, but not getting involved. Prop Beaver?
Yeah, I think I would probably lean Portland here, but I'm not going to give you any fight about it. It's pretty gross. I just know that Miami stinks out loud on 0 days rest. And honestly, we like backing Miami on the road when they're dogs. Big favorite on the road on 0 days rest. I mean, I know Rozier and Butler actually have a lot of rest, but the other players, they don't have the rest. So I don't know. Don't really care for this
sucks. This game sucks.
Yeah.
Modi?
Pass. I got nothing on this one. It's terrible.
Stinky, Chad.
Yeah, so let's get the community parlay going because screw that game.
Did you make an underdog or should I?
No. Could you make one? I forgot.
Yeah.
While we're doing the community parlays, I mean, Prop Beaver's going to cook up an underdog pick 'em for us. All right, we got Nets Magic. Did they vote Nets or Magic? I don't even remember. Probably Magic.
I think it was Magic.
Yeah. So Mavericks, Cavs, definitely Mavericks. Warriors, Wizards. They voted Wizards. Well, we'll put Wizards plus 10.5 in here. We got Jazz at Hawks. They voted for the Jazz. All right, community parlay. Cast your votes. Matt, what time is your if you want to plug your show or whatever?
Oh yeah, it was a great sell job by you.
Wow! Really got the crowd.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, plug whatever you want to plug. I would say just follow me on Twitter, and you can find everything from there. I have a I post most of my plays to YouTube first thing in the morning, but sometimes over the course of the day, injury news shakes out or just like different reads come at different times. So I'll post stuff on Twitter as well. So I'd say just hit me up on Twitter and you can find everything from there.
Got it. And his Twitter's right below his, says right there, Jedi Mode, right underneath him. All right, let's see what the community likes here. What the community's due for a win. It looks like Dallas Moneyline is going to make it. In fact, I could go ahead and type that in because that looks like we can chalk it up. Dallas Moneyline, first winner. Why, was that coming from Modi?
Yeah, I think my dogs are misbehaving, so they're getting reprimanded by my fiance.
No.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I muted because I wasn't sure if you guys could hear that.
Oh, we can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
First was 12.5. Pistons, Bulls. Pistons was 10.5. All right, community, second leg. What are we picking here? No, the Pistons didn't kill it because Grizzlies also lost, Doug. He said the Pistons killing the community parlay. Now, we had Grizzlies money line in there, so it 2 legs lost. Yeah, and Ronald did, but also the Pistons money line lost as well. But yeah, Ronald's right. Ronald did say the Grizzlies are going to ruin the community parlay. Yeah, you're just showing up now, Ronald. We went through all the games. We've been on for 51 minutes, man.
These comments are funny.
Yeah. During the college basketball show, it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
We have a boisterous bunch.
Yeah, it's a solid.
I like it. Yeah, no, that's good stuff.
Some silly fellas.
Pelicans, Celtics. It looks like Pelicans are going to win 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Poole. And it's Pelicans. All right, so Pelicans make it. So we got Mavericks money line, Pelicans money line. Let's keep it going. Second place was Boston and Orlando. So those two will get another shot. We got Hornets plus 14. Rockets, Thunder money line. Heat money line. All right, so then we'll vote one out of these 3, and then we'll do the poll with the second place finishers.
I've sent the community. No, not the community parlay. I've sent the underdog your way.
All right,
Sorry.
cool. All right, what's going to be the third leg of this? It might be Oklahoma City based on the early votes.
Yeah, I think you got to go Thunder here.
Yeah, out of those 3, I mean, I'd probably go Hornets plus 14. But
wow, we started off the community parlay with a dog.
Yeah,
I'm really getting.
I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of this.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of this community.
They're really trying to expand the value of these plays.
Proppy for the guy you paid $20 to come give you positive comments. That homie with the big feet, he's back.
Really?
Guy's
saying.
Huge prop beaver fan.
Hey, you know what they say about big feet? It's probably a really cool guy.
Yeah.
Second place finishers, we got Magic money line, Celtics money line, Heat money line. So all big favorites. Magic money line, Celtics money line, Heat money line. What is the last leg of this community parlay? Cast your votes. Big feet probably has a picture of Prop Beaver all over his house. Ugliest house ever.
In my wallet, too.
Funny.
All right, let's. Looks like it's gonna be Celtics, but we'll give it a few more seconds. 5. Someone goes, "Can we not vote for minus 800 Celtics?" 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it is Celtics. All right. So the community parlay is Celtic, but we also have the underdog pick 'em to go through real quick before we close. What's the odds on this parlay?
Plus 418. We started so strong, but we strayed back to old ways, guys.
It's all right. This could cash. This plus 418.
Yeah.
So the community parlay: Dallas money line, New Orleans money line, Oklahoma City money line, Boston money line plus 418. Real quick, let's pull out Prop Beaver's underdog pick'em. How many picks did you give us in this one?
I did 4, and I didn't include the Jordan Poole one because they didn't have it listed yet. So I put Matt's Wemby 3-pointer instead.
Oh, so you're stealing picks from Matt.
Yeah.
All right.
Essentially.
Here's Prop Beaver. Walk them through your stuff here.
So the 4 picks I talked about earlier, they're the 4 picks that are in here. We got Williamson over points. Higher points, actually. I think he has a nice matchup at the paint today. Jalen Duren, not such a nice matchup near the rim, going lower. Wemby should be able to benefit from drop coverage, so I'm going with higher, and I'm riding with Matt's pick. And then Brunson under Herb Jones, Lockup City.
Herb Jones, Lockup City. If you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account, it's available in any state highlighted in this map. So if you're in one of these states highlighted in yellow, head over to the website, or you could download the app, Underdog Fantasy. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET, B-E-T. That'll get you a deposit bonus match. So if you deposit $100, they will give you a free $100 to play with. Everyone, thanks for watching. It is almost 5 o'clock. Let's make sure to bet responsibly tonight. Same schedule tomorrow, 3 p.m. college basketball, 4 p.m. NBA. Tomorrow Ski Profit will be on for Wager Talk. Ski joins us on Wednesday, so he'll be there tomorrow. Same crew for college basketball. Matt, thanks for joining. Make sure you give Matt a follow on Twitter. We appreciate him taking his time to help us out here. All right, talk to you guys later. Have a good one.